November 9th, 1989. Guards on the Berlin Wall were told that if somebody wanted to go through, they should let them. They should allow them to go through. One of the guards either misunderstood or just didn't care. He threw open the gates. Next thing you know, a party pursues. Everybody's dancing, the Berlin Wall gets torn down, and yes, as you can see from the video, Michael Hasselhoff gives a concert on top of it. August 1991. A military coup tried to overthrow Mikhail Gorbachev and the Soviet Union to instate a harder-line Russian regime. The populace flooded the streets, attacked the soldiers, and the soldiers simply weren't willing to fire on them. A public movement overthrew a military coup. And with that, they held elections. And with that, communism gave way to democratic capitalism in a very painful way, as we're now finding out. CIA had no clue. But now we have the dilemma. 1991, the Cold War is over. What is the role of the United States when the enemy, the great enemy of communism in the Soviet Union has disappeared? Does the U.S. look inward? Does the U.S. become the policeman of the world? Should the U.S. still be trying to instate the system of American capitalist democracy on the rest of the world if communism is no longer a serious threat? 45 years, the U.S. is committed to the containment of communism. It's been almost 20 years since communism was no longer a threat, and we still can't decide. Run through some things for you. George Bush is going to announce a new world order. 1989, he's going to go into Panama, kick out Noriega, claiming that Noriega was corrupt. That may have been just to attack the Panama Canal. But 91, U.S. leads a coalition to begin bombing Iraq and will actually invade Kuwait and drive Saddam Hussein out of Kuwait. Again, maybe a monetary issue, but this is a coalition. The Soviets, Germany, Japan, Britain, France, and most Arab states are actually part of this. It showed the power of the U.S. It secured the Middle East, but it also put a bad taste about American culture, American people in the mouths of many in the Middle East. Bill Clinton comes in 1993, right? That same year, 93, he sends troops into Somalia as a humanitarian effort to help. But when Americans start dying, he withdraws. If you saw the movie Black Hawk Down, that's what this is about. 1994, he's going to send people into Haiti to help overthrow, or help secure the overthrow of the military government and reinstate Jean-Bertrand Aristide. 1995, he will declare a bombing campaign on Serbia to stop the ethnic cleansing that was happening in former Yugoslavia. One might ask in all of these, why is the U.S. getting involved? Panama, Iraq, Somalia, Haiti, Serbia, Afghanistan, San Salvador, Libya, Israel, and the list actually goes on. All these small countries around this world, it seems like after the Cold War, they all seem to be in disarray. They all seem to be in chaos. They all seem to have problems. What's because they do? Here's the story. 45 years, every what we call third world country was being supported in some way by either the United States or the Soviet Union. They were being propped up. The U.S. was flooding money into third world countries to prevent them from going communism, or excuse me, communist. Um, the Soviet Union was flooding money into any communist countries who are willing to oppose the U.S. At the end of that 45 years, in 1991, that valve of money just shuts off. And all the problems in these countries that had existed, and sometimes from their inception, came to the surface. Iraq was put together between the world wars. It was, or I'm sorry, after World War II. It was 4 or 5 different ethnic groups kind of mashed in because the English thought it would be cool to make a country out of Mesopotamia. After the Cold War, these people have to live together. Yugoslavia is the same thing. It's a whole bunch of different ethnic groups and different cultures who don't like each other, made to be together. After that funding stops, they have to actually live together. So the question that one must ask, inevitably, is what is the United States' role today? Should we be mopping up all of these problems that we laid out over the 45 years of the Cold War? Is that our responsibility? Is it our responsibility to police humanitarian efforts worldwide? Is it our responsibility to ensure that the world has a ready supply of oil? Is it the U.S. responsibility to be the peacekeepers? Or is it the U.S. responsibility to secure the world for Americans? Or should we be doing any of that? These are the questions that politicians argue every day. You tell me.